Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Cinema Wave podcast here at the Culture Wave Media Network, and we are back for one of our biggest episodes of the entire year. It is our best of list for film in 2025. We are a week into 2026, so apologies for the delay, but for good reason. We had to see a couple other last-minute movies to add to our list, maybe or maybe not, but really excited for this podcast. I'm going to be one of your hosts for this one. My name is Darian. I am joined this time by Liz Seiko.
What's happening?
And for the first time on the best of, Sean Villa.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Hello.
Excited to have you on, Sean. Excited to talk 2025 in movies. What I think was another really good year in the movie theater. I feel like this is the year I think I've seen the most movies in quite a long time.
Yeah.
Because I saw 21 at TIFF in a week. So
Yeah,
I knocked off about a quarter of my movies in a week, which was crazy.
I don't know if I saw 21 movies in general.
Really?
No, I probably did.
I was like, no, you totally did. You covered a lot on the channel this year, so I feel like you totally did. But a lot of really good movies that came out this year. If you guys haven't seen our previous best of, the way we're going to do this is pretty simple. I'm going to go through a couple movies that I wish I had a chance to see before we did this that may or may not have affected my list. A few honorable mentions. I have probably the most honorable mentions. And then I'll say my top 10 list. Then we're going to go to Liz. She's going to do hers. Then we're going to go to Sean. He's going to do his. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. All right. So the movies that I have missed out on that I really still would like to see at some point before probably the Academy Awards. We have Rental Family, The Phoenician Scheme, The Life of Chuck, Eddington, Ephus, The Testament of Anne Lee, The Mastermind, Surratt, and It Was Just an Accident. So those are the few that I haven't had a chance to see yet this year that I hope I get to see. Testament of Anne Lee is playing literally nowhere, so I feel like I'm not going to be able to see that before the Oscars, but we will see. For honorable mentions, these ones just missed my list. I have Jay Kelly, No Other Choice, Black Bag, Sorry Baby, Wake Up Dead Man, Nouvelle Vague. Superman was towards the bottom part of that, but I really did enjoy it. And then a handful of smaller movies that I saw at festivals that I hope people can go and find and seek out. Omaha was a terrific movie I saw. Sunfish and Other Stories on the Green Lake, which is an anthology film, and The Plague. So those are movies that I really enjoyed this year that just missed my list. So now it's time for my top 10.
Now it's your top 10.
My number 10 is Roofman. My number 9 is Frankenstein. My number 8 is Weapons. My number 7 is The Secret Agent. My number 6 is Marty Supreme. My number 5 is Twinless. My number 4 is Sinners. My number 3 is One Battle After Another. My number 2 is Train Dreams, and my number 1 is Sentimental Value. So that is my top 10 for the year of 2025. Liz, hit us with your lists.
All right. So the ones that I still need to see that I think possibly could affect my list as of right now are Song Sung Blue, Wake Up Dead Man, Blue Moon, Testament of Anne Lee, Surratt, and Smashing Machine.
Okay.
Not too bad.
Not too
I think
bad.
I've seen a good amount. I have quite a good amount of honorable mentions. So I'm just kind of gonna run through the list. Nouvelle Vague, One of Them Days, Hedda, Materialist, Bring Her Back, Frankenstein, Wicked Part 2, The Secret Agent, The Plague, and then a film that I saw at Tribeca that technically isn't wide yet, but I'm going to give it a shout out either way. It's called Honey June.
Okay.
Okay, now my top 10. So starting at 10, I have Sorry Baby. Number 9, Twinless. Number 8, Weapons. Number 7, No Other Choice. Number 6, Train Dreams. Number 5, One Battle After Another. Number 4, Marty Supreme. Number 3, Sinners. Number 2, Sentimental Value. And number 1, Hamnet.
Okay.
Wow.
Sean, hit us with your list. First, the ones that you haven't had a chance to see yet.
All right. I have maybe a little bit of an embarrassing admission. I haven't seen your top 2, Scal. So
Okay.
I do need to see Train Dreams and Sentimental Value.
Okay.
I'm looking forward
All right.
to both of those. I also haven't seen Hamnet, which looks pretty cool. Smashing Machine, which is the other Safdie. I saw Marty Supreme. We'll get there. Avatar. I haven't even seen the second Avatar. So
Wow.
I'm
Yeah,
way behind on the Blue
You're
Man
about
group.
six hours behind.
Yeah. I have not seen the Blue People in a while. Wake Up Dead Man, I'm eager to see. I just never got around to it. Begonia, I think may have cracked the top 10 if I had the chance to see it. I just feel like that's a movie that's right up my alley. Sentimental Value I have already. I put it twice, and No Other Choice.
Okay.
So those are my
No Other
haven't
Choice
seen.
is another one I feel like might be up your alley.
No Other Choice. You
Yeah,
said?
yeah, I think so.
Is that the foreign one?
Yeah, it's a South Korean movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I'll
right,
have
so
to
then
see
your
that.
honorable mentions.
I only have 3.
Okay.
The first one's Frankenstein. I think
Okay.
it's a very good movie. It just didn't crack the top 10, but that's my number 11 if we're doing that. Warfare, Alex Garland. I'm
Good
a
movie.
huge Alex Garland fan. I think the movie's very good. That's my favorite sound design of the
That was
year.
best sound of the year.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
really good sound design. And then honorable mention, favorite Marvel movie, Thunderbolts.
Okay.
Thunderbolts slid under the radar, but
It's
it
a good
was
movie.
yeah, I think it was really fun. It felt like classic Marvel. It brought me back a little bit, so I liked it. All right, top 10.
Top
Mhm.
10.
Number 10, I got horror movie Bring Her Back. Thought it was really good and gory. Number 9, favorite superhero movie of the year, Superman. Number 8, 28 years
I
later.
knew it was gonna be on there.
There she is. 7, this is a controversial pick, Naked Gun. I had such a great time in the theater at
It's a
Naked
great movie.
Gun.
Love that.
6, Weapons. So excited for that movie. Lived up to the expectation. Number 5, Caught Stealing. Came out of nowhere.
Really
Fucking
good
great movie. Number 4 is Sinners. What hasn't been said about Sinners? Number 3, this one that I am so amazed has not made your list. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Long Walk.
Haven't seen it.
No, I
I
didn't
loved
watch
The
it.
Long Walk. Just a
Mm.
couple fellas walking and talking. It was way up my alley. Number 2 is One Battle After Another. And number 1, having just seen it last night, Marty Supreme.
Okay.
I fucking loved Marty
Alright.
Supreme.
Awesome.
That's
Well,
what we got.
let's start with this. There's not a movie on either of your guys' lists that like I really enjoyed all of the movies that I have seen with all 3 of the lists. Like there's even movies again on some of our honorable mentions that I'm shocked that Materialist didn't make your top 10 because you really like that movie.
I really do, but you know what? The more that I sat with it, like in hindsight, there are better films than it.
Okay.
I think I just personally related to that script more.
Yeah.
But that's still why like it's still pretty high for me. I think that some of the other ones are just better
Yeah.
films.
Which and there's a lot like Caught Stealing is on your list, Sean.
Mhm.
It would have been another honorable mention for me because I just think it's a really strong year in movies, and I really enjoyed Caught Stealing. I thought it was a really good and a really entertaining movie in the theater.
Caught Stealing fills the same niche for me as Marty Supreme did, where it's just like a really well paced, like kind of crime drama,
Mhm.
I guess you could call it. So I think it might have even been like a little bit higher had Marty Supreme not blown it out of the water
Yeah.
for me.
All right, let's talk about the movies that are on all 3 of our lists.
I think there's 4.
To start. I think
think-
there is 2.
I think it's
So we
Yeah.
got One Battle After Another, Sinners,
Mm-hmm.
Marty Supreme, and Weapons. Correct?
Yep.
yeah.
Got him.
All right. So let's start with the one that is the biggest talk and is the front runner for Best Picture. Let's talk about One Battle After Another.
Mm-hmm.
PTA's potential magnum opus, people
Mhm.
say. I had it at number 3. Where did you have it?
I had it at number 2.
And you had it where?
5.
Okay. So, yeah, this is a movie that really lived up to the expectation. I
Mhm.
felt like there was a lot of talk about this movie for quite a long time. As of this recording, it was the day that the SAG nominations came out, and it got 7 nominations, which is the most ever, tied for the most ever.
That is a shit ton.
So the cast is unbelievable. Obviously, we could talk about so many of the performances in it, whether it's Leonardo DiCaprio or Tiana Taylor or Sean Penn or Benicio del Toro or the breakout of Chase Infinity. There's so much to it, but also the filmmaking and the fact that this might be the one that kind of finally gets PTA the awards consideration because he's always
Mhm.
been in the conversation. Obviously, he's done Boogie Nights and There Will Be Blood and The Master and Phantom Thread, Licorice Pizza. Like it goes on and on. But starting with you, Liz, like what made this movie stand out to you to put it in your top 5? Which all 3 of us have in our top 5, but what was it for you that kind of pushed it to that top half for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just a big PTA fan to begin with when I first saw this film, so I knew I was going to like it. I was worried about the runtime, as I always am, because like going on a 3-hour movie, that's tough sometimes to be able to keep that tension. And I said it in our review, and I'll say it again. That was the quickest, almost 3-hour movie I've ever watched. The editing's amazing. The pacing's really great. I actually just rewatched it too, because
Whoa!
yes, I know.
That's big for you.
Yeah, I don't have time to rewatch movies because
that long of a
like,
movie,
I don't.
too.
I have a million other movies to watch, and so the fact that I rewatched it, I think, says a lot. Tyler hadn't seen it with me the first time, and so he was like, "I really want to watch it," and I watched it with him. And the second viewing is so much funnier too, because I think you finally are able to like take the entire palette of like what the storyline is, and so then you're able to catch all those like little moments. And so I was really laughing the second viewing, which is why it's on my list.
Yeah, so I thought it was really hilarious throughout seeing it in the theater. It was one of the better theater experiences I had this year. I wish I saw it in IMAX, honestly, because of the way that a lot of the sequences, some of the sequences are shot. But Sean, you obviously coming from the writing background, for me, like one of the biggest things that impresses me with that movie is that they're able to kind of genre blend so well naturally in that movie, because there's thrilling sequences, there's incredible action for a PTA movie. There is great drama, and there's obviously comedy like Liz just brought up. So you have it number 2 on your list, obviously very high up. So what put it in that position? And for you as a writer, what was it about the story that kind of compelled you to really take such a obvious loving to what he was able to do with the movie?
Well, funny enough, I mean, it has a really unconventional structure. It starts like 6 years before the movie starts, and it takes a really long time to like get to the modern day of the film. The characters just sort of like come in and out. The perspective is ever shifting. Chase Infinity is really the main character of the movie, and she's not even alive for like the first, I think, 35 minutes of it, if not longer. So I'm impressed by, like Liz, you said the pacing's amazing. I agree with you, but the pacing being that good in a movie that's structured so strangely is very impressive. That means that there's a real tightness to the script. We're finding the plot and the story kind of coinciding with one another, and it's just making it really great. I don't have any issues with this movie, but I'm a real stickler for that 5-star 10 out of 10 ranking. I just there's got to be an X factor for me. That's what puts it over, and I need a little bit of special sauce. Special sauce in this movie is Sean Penn. I cannot express to you how much I love his performance in this movie. It's maybe my favorite supporting actor performance of the past decade. I mean, I fucking love him in this movie. He's so weird. He's so funny. And everything that he does, whether it be the way that he walks, to the way that he talks, to the way that he's breathing and presenting himself, is electric. I'm just so amazed by the way that he's able to carry these scenes for me. So that's the X factor for me. I think that's what made this as enjoyable of a film as it was, and the way that they treat him in the movie is so funny.
Yeah.
Like, he's a fucking like dirtbag loser who thinks he's like the greatest, but the movie never once is like, oh, he's cool. Never. Like, it's always just like, look at this fucking dweeb like running around. But he's like, you know, he rules the world essentially. So I think it's so great.
I agree with you, and I love the dichotomy between the 3 male stars of this movie, because Penn is the one that is, again, built up as this like he thinks he's the coolest dude ever. He wants to join obviously the Christmas Adventurers Club, but he's just obviously like a loser. Leo is such an like, this is, I mean, he's great in Wolf of Wall Street and he's hilarious in Wolf of Wall Street, but I would argue this might be his funniest performance. I think he's so funny in this movie, and it's nice to see Leo kind of, for lack of a better term, let his hair down, because his hair's up the whole movie. And then you have Benicio, who is like the most chill person in the world, which makes the aura around his character one of the coolest characters that PTA has ever put to screen.
Yeah.
So that, on top of the fact that Tiana does such a great job with the little bit of time she gets in the beginning of the movie, and then Chase, and I mean, I said this to you months ago.
You did.
And I think she might get nominated. I really do, which would be really incredible for her.
This is Chase Infinity, you said?
Yeah, for lead actress. Like, that's for her first big feature role. I mean, obviously, she had such a great kind of groundwork and framework, I should say, to kind of play off of. But the performances obviously are great in this movie. On top of all the below the line stuff, I think the score is great. I think that the cinematography is awesome. I think the editing's great. So there's obvious reasons why it's in all of our top 10s. But another movie in all of our top 10s, I'm going to jump to a different kind of side of the spectrum right now. Let's talk Weapons. So Weapons is a movie that it's my number 8. I believe it's your number 8 as well.
Yeah.
And it's your number
6.
Okay, so Zach Kreger's follow-up to Barbarian, a movie that had a lot of cachet, a lot of build-up to what this movie could have been, because basically what this movie is that it's kind of the horror version of Magnolia. It's what everybody kind of compared it to, with these kind of different storylines going throughout. And again, so Sean, I want to jump to you first, because again, as the writer, that writing perspective, it's another unconventional way to tell a story. So You had it even higher than Liz and I on our list. So why did you have it as high as you did?
When I saw Barbarian a little while ago, I remember thinking that the first 2 acts of that movie are so unpredictable, and a horror movie is usually very predictable. I think like structurally, I'm so drawn to horror movies because when they do something different, I think it feels different than any other genre. It just enraptures me in a way that most other genres can't. But I think the reason for that is because most of them are so formulaic. We have like a setup, and then we have some tension, and then we have the big jump. It's really just like a microcosm of what every scene of a horror movie is supposed to be. And Barbarian's fucking weird. It's like, again, it's jumping through like different characters, POVs, times, settings, everything, and tones especially. So after seeing that film, and even though I have some problems with the third act and the way that it all kind of resolves, I was really into Zach Krieger, especially from his comedy group. I was a fan of Whitest Kids You Know. I thought was really good. So when the trailer for Weapons came out, it was my most anticipated movie of the year. I still think it probably was my most anticipated movie of the year. And I think it's great, mostly because of all the things that I said are great about Barbarian are also great here, and I think it resolves in a much stronger way. Barbarian kind of loses me on the silliness in the last act. I didn't think it was like properly set up. This movie, while it has like great tension and scares and like a very eerie vibe overall, is consistently pretty funny and absurd and wild, which makes that like very bombastic third act click for me in a way that Barbarian didn't. So I just think it's fun that this movie tried a lot of shit and it got away with most of it. I think if there's anything that kind of brings it down for me, it's actually the way that Zach Krieger has been talking about his movie after it's come out. I think that guy needs to shut up because he keeps explaining that he didn't know what he was doing, which is bothering me. Because I saw like there's a huge thing in this movie with a gun that appears in a dream. It's a big gun alarm clock that kind of shows up over a house. And then I loved like kind of interpreting like what could that mean? Is it an allusion to like school shootings? Is it just violence in general? Does it relate to the character? There's so many good options. And then Zach Krieger was like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, dude, you wrote it. Like you like don't say what it is, but like you can't just. Why are you admitting that?
Yeah.
It like takes away from the movie.
Mystique of it,
yeah, and the mystique of the scene. And there's a couple instances like that he's like said something where I'm like, dude, you know, and it's like kind of ruined parts of the movie for me. So that sucks. And it's not the movie's fault. I just happen to see these Instagram clips and shit. But that's the age we're living in, is people. A movie lives on through the way that it's perceived and through the way it's spoken about after it's released. I mean, you're watching a film review, obviously, you know that. So yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I just think that there's a couple little hiccups here.
Yeah, I think that the one thing that we could probably say confidently going forward is that I don't know if Zach Krieger will ever make a formulaic movie, which I think is great.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's kind of having the audience go in so many different directions, and I do agree, Sean, what you were saying. I think he sets up kind of the tone of what this movie is, or the lack of tone, if you want to say, in a really good way with this movie. But what did you think? Because you obviously had it on your list too. I don't think either of us were here for that review. You did the review on the channel, so we haven't really had a chance to talk about it. So what were your overall thoughts, and why did it get in your top 10?
I loved this movie when it came out. I kind of the same thing that you were talking about, Sean. I really love a horror movie or a scary movie that the ending has a great explanation. I hate when movies are great first act, great second act, and then when the third act just starts being like, yeah, we don't really know like how to wrap this up, so we're just gonna do some like random thing or like random possession, and then like that explains it. I thought the explanation, which I won't spoil it in case people haven't seen it fully, but the explanation of why everything is happening and why everything's occurring, I just thought was very well done and actually made sense, and I could like see why that happened without it also being over explained. And that's why I loved it. And I saw it with my sister, and we were just running in the streets for like a week doing the arm running. So I loved this movie.
The other thing is that I think he it's a hard thing, but he shows talent already being able to work within an ensemble. Like he does it in a creative way by obviously with Barbarian and Weapons kind of divvying up the story in different ways to kind of have it surrounding, whether it's one town or one house, and kind of having different personalities come through. But that's why I'm so intrigued by what he's going to do with his next movie, which is Resident Evil. It's like a way bigger, different thing, and he has no real names in it. Like there's no big
cool.
actor. So I'm intrigued to see what he does next with that. Two more movies we have in our top 10 that we all share. Let's go to Sean's number 1. Let's talk Marty Supreme. This is my number 6. This was your 4. Okay, so give you the floor. It's your number 1 movie.
Yeah.
Why do you love this movie as much as you do?
I think there's a scene I've been trying to think about, like, what about this movie is that special sauce for me, and I think the scene that really like sold it for me is the bathtub. Without spoiling anything, there's a scene in this movie that comes absolutely out of nowhere, introduces an entire plot line, introduces multiple characters who become essential to the movie, and I think the way that it is set up, which is that it is not set up and just happens, makes for a movie that is just so consistently surprising to me. And a movie that is just shit's just happening is usually a bad movie. But somehow Safdie is able to kind of make like a realistic, absurd situation out of anything. Josh Safdie and Benny Safdie, I think to an extent as well, are just pros at creating stress and creating tension and creating conflict. And conflict is what makes great scenes. And these guys, there's no scene in this movie that doesn't have great conflict in it. Whether it be the real conflict of the movie, which is that this tennis match and this up-and-coming professional, or just this guy who he needs to get his dog back to him, or he's trying to get money from some other guy, or he's, running around with his girlfriend. And it's electric. Like, this movie's pacing is fucking crazy. It's crazy, like the where we go. Because when it starts and to where it ends, you'd never guess what happens during this movie, which makes it so enjoyable to sit in. Because every time something nuts would happen, I would go like, what are we doing? Like, this, I didn't think the movie was going to be this at all, but it's so fun. It's so fun. Like, I'm so obsessed with the way that this movie just kind of like gardens, I think is the word that I'm going to use. There's George R. R. Martin always talks about this thing where there's two kinds of writers, that there's an architect and a gardener, and that the architect kind of like goes in and he has this idea and he works everything out. He's got a blueprint for the whole thing, and then he starts writing and he's just filling in gaps. And then there's a gardener that just starts somewhere and just fucking lets it go. And that's why Game of Thrones is never going to get finished, but I also think that that's why it gets some like amazing sequences. Like there's great stuff in there because you're letting the characters do the work for you. And this is a movie that's letting Marty drive the movie. I think that he just knew who this guy was and just plopped him down in New York and let him talk, and shit just happened. But it feels real because it's so true to the guy. And now that we're on the topic of Marty, I mean, this might be Chalamet's best performance. Like, it's up in the air.
It is.
But he's amazing in this movie. And that's what I'm saying. Like, a character-driven movie like this, it doesn't come around that often, where a movie is paced as the character. Like, it's such a hard thing to define. I don't think it's easily replicated. And I just I have to shout it out. Like, I really was so taken aback by the way that this movie ebbs and flows, and then still has a really like a powerful arc at the end. I think like his character change is really like meaningful and emotional. So I just think it's really like overall a fantastic ride. I don't have anything bad to say about it. And I think when you're in that position, I'm just like, yeah, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go?
Yeah, I mean, Timmy, this is like the epitome, I think, of what his work has been building up toward. His character is so unlikable at times, and then he's able to just flip it and like make you laugh and make him likable again. And that's so hard to do as an actor, is to make a should be like douchebag, unlikable character charming in a way. So difficult to do. I think the entire cast is just delivering very dynamic performances. I mean, we get Gwyneth like in this doing some great work. Just like, I love her. I think she's so underrated sometimes because people say that she can just be very bland, but I think she's just so subtle in like her remarks, and in a funny, fast-paced script like this, to have her just giving like a quick side look, it's some of the most brilliant acting in just little moments. Odessa kills it. And I just watched I Love LA, where she's in too, and to see her go from something that's like very modern and all about like LA and like Instagram and everybody has like a vocal fry, and then going into this, it's just she's a wild force on the screen. And I'm excited to see what she does. And I had a feeling that I was going to love this film, and I'm really, really, really glad that I loved it and that they smashed it.
Yeah, I want to say that I'm very proud that you have like 4 movies on your list that are over 2.5 hours.
What
That's
can
big
I
for
say?
you.
It's big.
That's
it's
big for you. This movie, it's a long movie, but again, similar to what both of you guys said. Josh Safdie and the Safdie brothers, what they've done with the previous 2 films that they made before they kind of went off and did their own separate thing. I don't understand how they're able to do what they do with the pacing.
That's what I'm saying.
It's unbelievable
Yeah.
the way that this story can just kind of zoom past you, and you have all this emotion and all this anxiety throughout the entire thing, and then by the end you're like, and you're
yeah.
just
Yeah.
clapping. Like, that's really what you feel with this. I would say I do think this probably is Timmy's best performance. I love that he's kind of going down this road that is very Leo-esque, where like Leo's the only other guy to me that has that same effect that you were saying, where I said it reminds me a lot of Catch Me If You Can, this movie, where that he does a lot of scumbag things, but you wind up rooting for his character a lot of times throughout the movie. This one, I mean, I said this to you before we started recording. It's like, I can't remember a character in such a long time that is as unlikable as Marty Mauser is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you are rooting for him because he's such an enigma, seeing him on the screen. The other thing I want to shout out, because you brought up basically all the big performances that are all great, I also love what Josh Safdie and Benny Safdie both do, where they bring in non-performers to have great roles on screen.
Yeah.
Tyler, the
Amazing
creator,
roles.
Yep.
is great in this. Luke Manley. Do you guys know the story about the Luke Manley, the guy who plays Dion?
I don't think so.
No,
Okay.
I don't.
Dion, the guy who is Marty's best friend in the film,
Yeah.
is a gentleman that went viral because he was a Knick fan, who Timmy is a huge Knick fan. He has courtside seats, who literally just said that an opposing player that the Knicks were playing in the playoffs, that his hair looked like his dad's nutsack. And so Josh Safdie goes, I want that guy in my movie.
That was it.
And he came in and he auditioned and he won the audition and he's in the movie. And he's great in the movie.
Yeah.
And this is a guy that was a nobody, just a Knick fan, that is now on the big screen sharing scenes with Odessa and Timothée Chalamet. Emery Cohen, Fran Drescher is in this movie. Like,
Love Fran.
you love to just see these, and Gwyneth obviously, like seeing
and Kevin O'Leary.
and Kevin O'Leary. How do we not bring up Kevin O'Leary?
Also, way bigger role than I expected
Oh,
for
yeah.
him. Way more screen
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's doing great work. I think Josh Safdie is probably in my top 2 best directing of this year. Because this movie is wonderfully directed.
I agree.
Okay, last one we have in all of our top 10s, we have Sinners, a movie that for me, I've only seen it once. I can't wait to rewatch it. I saw it in IMAX. It was a great movie-going experience for me.
Mhm.
I stayed for the post-credit scene. I don't know if everybody did. Some people apparently did. And Timothée Chalamet actually said at the Critics' Choice after he won the award, he goes, Michael, I just rewatched Sinners. I stuck around for the post-credit scene this time. I can't believe I missed it last time.
I also missed it in the theater.
You did too?
On my second viewing, I saw it, but I did not see it in the theater. I didn't think that it was going to have one.
Yeah.
I just left.
And it's a great post-credit scene, but the movie
Yeah.
in general is one of those original blockbusters that just makes you feel so good about movies again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, I know that sounds so cliche, and so many people are like, yeah, but no, this movie really does that. I don't have many negative things to say about this movie in general. I think Michael B. playing twins knocks it out of the park.
Michael B.
Michael B. Jordan.
I thought it was so funny the way you said that.
Michael B.
Michael B.
Like you
Jordan.
know him. Like he's your friend.
Hey, he's a Newark guy. He's a Jersey guy. We might be friends someday.
And we have in
Um,
the studio.
Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of great performances in this. Delroy Lindo was great in this. I've listened to Rocky Road to Dublin by Jack O'Connell probably 150 times since this movie was released.
That's crazy.
I just really love this movie. I think the cinematography is absolutely stunning. The score is obviously amazing.
yeah.
The music is unbelievable. Miles Catton is great in his debut performance. So many things I could say about this movie. Liz, Why did it make your list?
It's great. I mean, this movie was one that I just kept thinking about after I watched it. Like that one sequence where they go through all the music and all the different I don't even know how to describe it, but it's that one scene where they're all
the different
music genres. Yeah. Gorgeous, just truly beautiful. It was a stunning film. I loved it. And I don't know what else to say besides I really loved it.
Sean,
Sorry.
what about you? Where'd you have it on your list?
I had it. Oh shit! Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. But I thought it was also another like great movie. I had it at number 4. So
I had it same spot.
I was 3.
Okay. So I think that it's so exciting to me when a writer has a movie that's sort of it's so like a horror movie specifically. They're always about trauma, and like I've said this on the podcast before that I have a problem with how many horror movies are just about like, oh, when I was a child something bad happened to me, and that's like the whole movie, and then the monster is like a metaphor for it. This movie is about like racial trauma, historical trauma, all of these different elements that you just don't see that frequently, and you don't see it done in the grandiose way that this movie does it. For a horror movie to have this much like style and pizzazz and like frankly swagger in it is I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen it before. And I just think that the setting, the character work, the thematic through lines, and I say that with an S because I think this movie's about a lot. It's just really impressive to me. I think usually when you get a horror movie, you get a movie that's about one thing and it's about one simple thing. And this is a movie that's about a lot of things and they're really complicated things. And I think it's talking about them in a really interesting way. And it's using its monster as a metaphor in a way that I've never seen before. Like cultural vampirism vampire. Come on, dude. That's awesome. Like that's such a great idea. And to just tie it into this world that, I mean, is really just like begging for a spinoff it's just really great.
Yeah, plus it's a period piece. And
yeah,
you have a gangster element to it. I mean, he balances a lot with this movie. It's really impressive from Coogler as well. It's a great movie. I mean, we went through, those are all the ones that are all on our list. I feel like this might be the most shared that we've done for the best of, that we've ever had so many of the same ones in the top 10.
Maybe.
Because they're all, I mean, just terrific filmmaking all around with those movies. Let's see if there's any again on two people's list, like we had said earlier. So Twinless, did it make your top 10?
It did.
Okay. Sentimental Value.
Mm-hmm.
Train Dreams, I know didn't.
No, it did.
Oh, it did. Train Dreams made your top 10. Okay. You haven't seen any of
those are all the movies I haven't seen.
All right. Sorry, Sean. Well, we're gonna talk.
Sean, we're gonna
sideline you for a bit.
Go ahead. I'll
chat.
produce for a little bit.
All right. So these three movies are all in my top 5. Let's start with Sentimental Value. It's my number 1 of the year.
It's my number 2.
Okay. We've talked about this movie a lot, whether
Yeah.
it's on camera, whether it's off camera. I said it in a reel that you guys will see at some point, and it shocked you, but I feel no shame in saying it. I could watch this movie every month for the rest of my life.
And the reason it shocked me is because this movie is like very traumatizing, I feel like. And it's all about how our parents mess us up in ways, and how like family can just be the worst, but also like you actually can't go throughout life without actually having family members and parents. And like it is what it is at the end of the day. And it's just a beautifully sad film with a kind of positive ending without it being like cheesy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think there's really great subtle moments of humor in this movie. Like the one I keep seeing on Twitter, again, gives nothing away of the plot, but Stellan Skarsgård gifting his grandchild the piano teacher. And what was the other film? Another movie that is so inappropriate for like a 7-year-old to be gifted for his birthday.
I thought you were going to say the IKEA.
IKEA is also great in the
IKEA
movie.
Joke.
It's probably and I have a limited range of foreign language movies, but besides Parasite, this is probably my favorite foreign language movie I've ever seen. All the acting in this movie is great. And we talked about, I said it on the podcast we did for this, when I saw this at TIFF, it was the first movie I saw at the Toronto International Film Festival. And then I sat through another 20, and this one stuck with me not only through that, but all the way to the end of the year. And Elle Fanning was the one performance that I was like, I don't really know if I'm fully locked in the way other people are. And the second viewing really connected that with me. Inga, I really hope wins. I don't think she's gonna, but I really hope she wins. Renata's terrific in the movie. Stellan's terrific in the movie. It's this movie, like you said, of hardship and trauma and family and dealing with life in general and depression and so much, but it's a movie that really touched me in a deeper way, and seeing it a second time kind of solidified that for me. So that's why it's my number 1. It's your number 2.
That's why, yeah.
I love that.
Love
Train
it.
Dreams is my number 2. It's your number
6.
6. Okay, wow, you did have it higher than I thought you did.
Yeah, I know. You were like, it's not even on your
I didn't think it was on your
list.
list. I thought you said it for honorable mentions. Yeah, I mean, I've said so much about this movie too. This is another movie I saw at TIFF. I was so lucky to see it in a movie theater because it's the best cinematography of the year.
Yep.
It's some of the best cinematography I've ever seen in my life. Joel Edgerton, you just kind of feel every single bit of emotion that this guy is going throughout his life, of being this sort of desolate logger that has to go out and just earn money for his family, to dealing with the tragedy of loss and seeing what he's going through in his life. And it's literally just a movie about the portrait of kind of a regular guy in the 1930s, I believe it starts.
The turn of the 20th century.
So as soon as I think, right? Am I right? No,
Turn of the 20th
so
century.
1900s, right? Beginning of 1900s?
Yeah, the
Am I right?
start of the 1900s.
Yes.
Mhm.
The
So-
O's.
Yes. So,
The
and we're seeing that, I think it goes until like the 60s or the 70s, I believe it goes to. 60s,
something
I think.
like that, if I remember correctly.
But I mean, even all the below the line things in this movie are some of the best I've seen in so long. I mean, we talked about the subtleness of the makeup and the hair in this movie is
Aging.
great. The aging. And just watching this guy's life kind of unfold over time. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful movie. That's why it's my number 2.
I
And
agree. I mean, I never loved a movie about trees more in my life.
Seriously.
Like, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Yeah, and it's like one of those movies that really does make you think about just like human purpose, along with like nature, and like how do we affect nature in negative and positive ways, and then also like how does nature affect us in our lives. And obviously it's more pressing because this is when people are building the railroads and starting to tear trees down and using trees for purposes other than just having them be a part of the landscape. And so I think it tries to cover a lot of different conversations. It also covers the conversation about like what our purpose is in life, and is it to make something of ourselves, or is it the like footprints that we leave behind for our generations and like family members to look back on. So it talks about a lot. I also really love William H. Macy's
so good in this.
performance. I think it's really underrated. He's kind of like the scene stealer for me. And he doesn't have a lot to do. He just kind of comes in out of nowhere, and then you have a couple of scenes with him and you're like, that was just such a quirky little man that was working on the railroads. I really love this film. I wish it didn't go straight like to Netflix, to be honest. I wish that it had gotten like a long theatrical release, because I think people might not resonate with it as much if they're at home and able to just look on their phones.
I agree with that.
But I had a great time watching it in theater.
The dichotomy of that too is that so much of what the theme of this movie is about the fragility of life, and then you look at like the modern realities of what everybody has at their disposal, and it's just like it just makes you feel weird.
Yeah, like I've seen some reviews of people being like, "Oh, I was a little bored," and I'm like, "You probably watched it at home, like we all do watch films, and you probably were bored after seeing the third shot of just trees blowing in the wind, and you were like, well, let me just get on my phone a little bit." So I get it.
Yeah. This might be the best awards quote unquote movie Netflix has ever made, I would say. I would argue. I'd have to look back, but it's a really strong contender for me for Netflix.
I don't know, Frankenstein.
Frankenstein's also really good, but I like this movie more.
Coming in.
Twinless. So I'm happy this made your list. This is your number 9.
This was my number 9.
This is my number 5.
You love this movie.
I love this movie.
TJ, go off.
I love this movie because Michael B. Jordan is terrific in Sinners with twin performances, but is it better than Dylan O'Brien in twin performances in Twinless? I don't know. He's so good in this movie to the point that it shocked me, because I haven't seen much of Dylan O'Brien in my life. Obviously he's best known for being in The Maze Runner, I believe, right?
Maze Runner.
I mean, he's done other things.
Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf, but nothing to where he's carrying such great material as he does in this movie. And James Sweeney, man, like starring, directing, writing, producing this movie. It's a great festival movie. We saw it at Tribeca, and it stuck with me ever since. I haven't had a chance to see it again because it wasn't playing in any theaters near us, but I would have seen it again. I'm gonna get the Blu-ray when it is released then. But I really love this movie. It's another movie that deals with tragedy, but also understanding what it's like to have a companion in life, no matter what that looks like. And I think that that's a really beautiful thing that Sweeney's able to craft, and it's so funny.
Yeah,
it's such a funny movie that just kind of had me going all over the place. So, Twinless, it's a great movie. Why did you love it as much as I did?
I think the writing is just really smart. There's a twist in this film that is one of my favorite twists in recent years. I just really didn't see it coming. I think it's really witty. And yeah, it was one of the films that I walked away from Tribeca just being like, that was my absolute favorite of this festival, and I can't wait for other people to start seeing it more. And a bunch of people that asked me about films that we saw when we went to Tribeca, I kept saying, I was like, you guys got to wait till Twinless. You got to wait till Twinless. And then I was like, am I overhyping this? But then when they finally saw it in theater, they were like, we love Twinless. And I was like, thank God, because I didn't want to like overhype it as well. But Dylan O'Brien, man, he is what this film is about. His performance, because it's hard. That's such hard work to do, playing two different characters, and you want to make them as different from each other. But he's also playing twins, and so it's like you don't want to make them completely different because they did grow up together. They are technically, like, they are brothers in a way also. So it's like you need to make them have some similarities, and that is just really hard to do, and he does an amazing job.
Yeah,
so I love it.
All right, Sean, we just took that away from you for 3 movies, so now it's your opportunity to talk Liz and I into seeing The Long Walk as soon as possible.
Oh, snap.
Pitch me it.
Yeah, so Long
Your number
Walk,
3 of the year.
It is. It's my number 3 of the year. Well, if you know my writing history, which nobody in this room does or nobody on the internet does, I write a ton about young fellas learning how to be men. I'm big on that theme. And this is a movie that's all about that. And that's really all it is. It is a couple of fellas, and they're going on a long walk. And there's danger if they stop walking, so they got to figure out what they're going to talk about. And they talk about life and who they are and what they're going to do if they win this big competition. I guess I should set up the movie a little bit. So basically, they have to walk until there's only one of them left walking. If you stop walking, they shoot you, and that's it. They're just going. So this
Stephen King story, correct?
Yeah, yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's a Stephen King story. It's a short. I read it after the movie because I really liked the movie, and then the ending of the novella, I guess you could call it, is completely different, and it leaves me a little conflicted. But whatever. Yeah, it's just about a bunch of kids who know that they're going to die and talking about it. And I just think it's really, like, it tugged at my heart real hard. I think the performances here are great. The lead 2 guys who I'm so sorry, I'm forgetting both of their names.
It's David Johnson and Cooper Hoffman.
Okay. David Johnson in this movie, if Sean Penn hadn't come into the world, he's my favorite supporting performance of the year. And I don't even think he's going to get nominated. He'll get glanced over. But he's also in Alien Romulus.
Yes.
And he's amazing in that, too. So keep your eyes out on this young gentleman. And I really just was taken aback by the character work and by the theming of it. It's a really powerful movie for me. And I think it's very simple in the way that it's constructed. It feels like an old movie. It feels like a Stephen King movie from the 80s. It reminded me a lot of Stand By Me. So that's one of my all-time favorites, and it reminded me of that.
Yeah.
So,
that's awesome. Yeah, no, I really do want to see it. You're also not the first person that I'm aware of that has it in their top 10. So people do love it as much as you love it.
I'm glad.
this year.
I really had low expectations for it, and I think that is another aspect of like these movies hitting so hard a lot of the time is when you go in with an expectation. And like for this movie, I was like, yeah, it looks cool, Stephen King, but like I kind of felt that way about like a couple movies. I was like, oh, Gerald's Game, like this will be good, and I didn't like it at all. So it's right. So every now and then it's like just Stephen King's name is not enough to sell me. So I went in just kind of like, all right, we'll see what happens, and was really just surprised by it. And I think that added a lot. I wasn't expecting to fucking love this movie, and I did. So that was cool. It was a fun surprise.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that movie. We haven't gotten to your number one yet, so let's talk about it.
Hamnet.
Sean hasn't seen it yet, unfortunately. But Liz, Hamnet, your number one. A lot of people's number one.
A lot of people's number
for
one.
2025.
It's beautiful. I could cry right now talking about it. Jessie Buckley is amazing. She's literally going to win the Oscar. She's doing some of the best work I possibly have ever seen from an actress before. And like you can see the work, but it's not like she's actually like working hard. She's just being this character going through the absolute most traumatic things and moments in her life. Paul Mescal is brilliant. He's taking on a really big toll. I don't want to like ruin anything or like in case people go in a little bit more blind, but like it is about Shakespeare and related to Shakespeare, and like that's daunting to cover one of the greatest writers of all times and trying to put something that is truly only meant for a stage presentation onto film is very daunting and very hard to do, because it's like, do you completely suck the life out of it to make it smaller and more intimate, or do you do it to its fullest extent and then it just seems like you are bad at acting because the camera catches every little thing? But Paul, I think, does amazing work with it. He's doing some of the most iconic speeches of all time. Chloe Zhao does amazing directing work. Oh my God. Some of the shots are gorgeous. I think about them sometimes just randomly whenever I'm looking at like a forest when I'm driving. I'm like, Hamnet could have happened in there for all we know. Yeah, it's really brilliant. Some of the best acting work. I get it that it's not like some big 3-hour like bro movie, but I think it's really brilliant. And everybody should see it, and you will cry or tear up. The theater that I was in, literally, you could hear people sobbing.
Yeah, I saw
absolutely sobbing.
I saw it in a sold out theater in TIFF, and I was one of maybe 4 people that didn't fully cry. I had tears in my eyes by the end. It's a very emotional movie.
Yeah.
I will say I 100% agree with you. The best direction of Chloe Zhao's career. This is the thing that she should be doing more of, I think, going in this direction, because this movie is her most complete and her best in terms of what she's directed based on what I've seen. I've heard a lot of great things about The Rider. I haven't seen it, but the other films I've seen of hers, Nomadland and Eternals, this is definitely her best. Jessie Buckley, I've never gone into an award season ever saying 100% someone's going to win, and I fully feel that with her. Yep. It's like I've never seen an awards kind of race where there's a bunch of actors going for it and they're like, well, there's a chance. No, it's Jessie Buckley's to lose. If she loses, I think it might be a catastrophe on the hands of the Academy, and I don't even think it's going to happen.
I'll never watch another movie again.
Yeah, exactly. She's unbelievable in the movie, and in a year filled with great child performances, Jacoby Jupe is unbelievable and heartbreaking in this movie. It's a good movie. Didn't make my list, but I know you love it very dearly.
Boo.
As does Zach, who is another member of our channel who really loves the movie.
Jessie Buckley. I just, I don't really like Chloe Zhao. She's not impressed me ever.
I didn't love Nomadland, but I think her direction in this is way stronger.
Okay.
Way stronger.
It's very whimsical.
Yeah. It's a well-directed movie for sure. We have a few left that aren't on everybody else's list, I believe, at this point.
Yeah, so let's just power through. Give us what's left on your list.
Okay, I got Secret Agent, which is number 7 for me. I got my number 9 is Frankenstein. Do either of you guys have Frankenstein?
I've seen Frankenstein. It's an honorable mention. Yeah.
And then Roofman is my number 10. So let's go to Frankenstein, because we've all seen Frankenstein.
Yeah, let's talk.
Guillermo, man. I mean, this is his passion project for his entire career.
Yeah.
He's basically given $200 million on the silver platter by Netflix. They're like, do whatever you want. This is probably the best below the line movie of the year for me. The production design, the costume design, the design of Jacob Elordi's Frankenstein, the score, the ambiance of what this movie kind of radiates is great. Another one that I'm so sorry that you guys didn't have a chance to see in a theater, because
I did watch it
seeing this in a movie theater was unbelievable in the scale of what you're seeing with the shots on screen. Cemented it in the top 10 for me, because I do think it's one of the best Del Toro movies I've ever seen. I think Elordi is terrific in the movie. I think Christoph Waltz is great in the movie. Charles Dance is great in the movie. Oscar Isaac, I love Oscar Isaac. It's not my favorite performance of his. But Elordi does so much in this movie as the monster, and I just think that overall the way that this movie is paced too, because it's a longer movie, I really like the way that this is kind of a slower structure that goes along, but it's the right sort of tonality for the tapestry of what Frankenstein kind of is. But it just missed your list, so talk to us about the movie.
Well, I agree. I mean, the main thing for me is the cast of this movie is crazy. It's like they lined up my favorite actors and we're like, here you go, and then they just gave them all one movie. I think everyone in it is terrific. I think Guillermo does a great job directing. You can kind of like feel the passion that he has for Frankenstein, like in the way that the movie is constructed. I really just have somewhat of an issue with the way that a lot of the side plots resolve and a lot of the way that they're paced. I think the A plot of this movie is basically perfect. Like it's just fucking everything about Frankenstein is done really, really well. It's like just the right amount of every scene. It ends right where it's supposed to. But then we have like a lot of things with Mia Goth and Christoph Waltz and the brother character, where I feel like it was leading to something, and then it just kind of like doesn't for me. Like I don't really see how it adds to the whole movie, like as a big collective. It sort of just feels like we were exploring these other like little side plots, but they didn't really like hit for me. Like they just sort of wither away in the way that I feel like the main plot doesn't. I feel like the main plot comes away and it's like boom, and it just hits you with like the real like thesis, and the other stuff in there is just sort of like, okay,
like plot device.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like the brother is a big one for me. Like I don't really understand what they were going for with him, and like this idea of the wedding and like Oscar Isaac being in love with Mia Goth. Like I don't totally know what it contributes to the movie. Which, you know, maybe it's just me like not getting the right takeaway from it, but I also have a really stupid complaint, but I'm not going to lie, it's a big one. How do you not say that it's alive, dude? Come on. Oscar Isaac does not shout at the lightning, "It's alive!" I mean, that's essential to the fucking movie.
I think that for Del Toro, he would have felt like parody.
No, it's essential to the movie. Del Toro, I disagree. How are you passionate about Frankenstein? And you're like, I'm not going to use like the line that every single human on the planet knows from Frankenstein.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. It's fair. It's a funny criticism,
I know.
But
Yeah.
It's fair that it's something that bothers you. Liz, it didn't make your list.
It was in my honorables.
What did you think of Frankenstein?
Yeah, I think that the artistry is brilliant. I think that visually, I truly, truly am jealous that I didn't get to see it in a theater. Instead, I watched it on my couch in my living room on my small little TV. But no, I think it's a really artistic film. I just don't think that I walked away. It's still a great film. What prevented it from being in my top 10 is I didn't really walk away feeling connected to it or like moved by the story of Frankenstein, which to me, there is space for me to be able to be moved by that story because he is like, there is enough humanality to the character for people to feel bad for him and feel empathetic. But I think that they wanted to just go more of like the visual route rather than like the emotional and like heart-wrenching and connectivity. So I think that's what prevented it from being in my top 10.
That makes sense.
Liz, can I ask you a question? So I think I had a very similar feeling about it. Of just like I wasn't like totally connecting to the emotion of the movie. I feel like one of my favorite sequences of this movie is the long arc of like the Spirit of the Forest section with the old man.
Oh,
did that impact you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Loved it because it was fine. It was like, okay, we're seeing like the spirit like within Frankenstein finally like what's his story, like who is he and like what's going on with inside him rather than just being like, and now here's another visual beautiful shot.
Right.
Because I can appreciate that all the time, but this is a long ass movie, and if I'm gonna sit through a long ass movie, I need to be feeling some stuff too. I don't want to just be like looking at pretty pictures.
That's fair. That's my favorite sequence in the movie too.
Yeah, it's also
Definitely.
mine.
Yeah, it's a beautiful part of the section of the film. Sean, you have a few movies that are on your list that I don't think are on either of ours.
Well, I am dying to talk about Naked Gun. I gotta be honest.
I saw Naked Gun. Did you see Naked Gun?
I did not.
It's fucking hilarious.
Tell me everything.
It's very funny.
Yeah, so Naked Gun, it is such a dumb movie. There's nothing like that I could say about like the writing of Naked Gun that would be anything other than just like stupid. It's so dumb, but it's dumb in a smart way, if that makes sense. It's a movie that's sort of about nothing but making you laugh. And that's rare. I think a lot of times comedy movies come into it, and rightfully so, they come in with a theme and an intention, and every now and then it really works for me. Like Superbad, one of my favorite movies of all time because of the emotion that's packed into that movie. But what's so great about the original Naked Guns is that they're not really about anything.
Yeah.
They're just sort of like a couple of guys hanging out, and they're going to make you laugh, and they're going to put their absolute all into crafting as many gags per second as they can. And while obviously this is not Leslie Nielsen, we're not like, one of the greatest comedians of all time here. Liam Neeson is amazing in this movie, and also it's consistently really funny. This is the hardest I think I've laughed in a theater maybe ever.
Wow.
I know, and it's a dumb movie. So like it just goes to show I have a really stupid sense of humor. But there's some sequences here that are like real fucking belly laughs for me. I don't know. I mean, it's completely subjective because I can't be critical about this movie. I can't be like, this is objectively why the movie's good. I can just tell you that for me, it's so fun, and it feels like they were just like, all right, I'm gonna give you a couple laughs, and if you don't like it, you don't like it, but we're gonna try really hard to give you a good time, which is just nice. I like going to a theater for that.
Yeah, well,
It's a good
they pack in so many jokes in such a short amount of time too, which is the best part of the Naked Guns, I feel like, because again, like you could retitle this movie "Stupid Shit" the movie, and that's really what it is, but it's hilarious because there's so much stupid humor in it, but it is really funny, and I did really enjoy this movie too, and it was probably the most I've laughed in the theater. Definitely not ever, but in the last probably like 5-6 years.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the best
hits.
comedy in a while. It's the best comedy in a while. What's one on your list that we didn't hit yet?
No Other Choice.
No Other Choice, which was an honorable mention for me.
Wow, this movie, I went in really blind, not knowing what the plot line was gonna be, and what a ride, guys. You should definitely see it. Park Chan-wook, he when was his last film? I don't even remember.
I'm not sure. Maybe a couple years ago.
I think a couple years ago.
I'll do the research.
I'll talk about it. Okay, so this film is a roller coaster. You don't know what's happening at all times, and you don't really know like where it's gonna end up. But essentially, it's talking about like the topics of do our jobs make who we are, and if they do, like,
will you kill for it?
And should you kill yourself like for your job if it is like our sole purpose in life to have a job? And then it's like, but our sole purpose is kind of to have a job because you actually can't live if you don't have money, so you do need to work for the man. And then it's like, at what cost would you go to get the job that would change your whole life? And then also like the conversation around like men feeling like they have to like be the one that provides for like the family of putting the food on the table, and like if you aren't that person, like what does that mean for you? And it's all so heightened to just some of the craziest stuff. Yeah, I mean, I listened to yours and Vinny's review on this, and like Vinny's the most passionate person about South Korean films, and so like he can speak to this way better than I ever can. But it was really remarkable for me. It really stuck with me. I think some of the, like they just make films that really push the envelope to the absolute roof, because sometimes you're like, it can't get worse than this. And then the next scene, you're like, oh my God, this is way worse than this. Like this person is going through something that you can't even imagine. And it's gory and it's traumatic and it's disgusting, but you also understand why, because the writing's so well done to set the steps up for something shocking, but also makes sense. So yeah, that's my pitch.
It's
I know I'm trying not to spoil anything for you guys or anybody.
You should see it, Sean. You really like it.
It's really well done. Yeah, okay. It's awesome. It's
Lee Byung-hun is amazing in the movie. The actress, I think her name is Ji Young-yu, who plays his wife, is also great in the movie.
Yeah.
It's his first movie since 2022.
It's also very funny.
Son Ye-jin, I'm sorry, is his wife. Yeah, he did it. Decision to Leave in 2022. He had a TV series on HBO before that, The Sympathizer, in between. which is an American series that I still haven't seen, but I've heard good things. But yeah, that one just missed my list. That was my number 12.
You should
So-
watch. Oh, you did watch it.
I
right?
did.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
just
yeah,
missed
yeah.
my list, but I did
Mhm.
really enjoy it.
It's a
We'll-
trip and a half.
We'll jump to another foreign language movie that was in your honorable mentions that made my list.
Secret
The
Agent.
Secret
I
Agent.
knew it.
Brazilian film. Another one I think of the best directed movies of the year.
Mhm.
A 2.5 hour movie that flied for me. And I was just so enamored with what it is. I do think that Timmy is probably the best performance of the year. Wagner Moura might be number 2 for me. He's unbelievable in this movie. So much of the movie is obviously carried on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And you're seeing this guy who has to kind of embody this, again, a dual personality kind of thing, because he has to hide from people that are out to get him. It's a 70s movie, which is the best aesthetic, I think, whether it's a movie that is filmed as if it's a 70s movie that's released, or if it's taking place in the 70s, it always just kind of adds this different allure to it. The ensemble in this movie is also great, with a bunch of actors that I've never heard of or seen in my entire life, but everyone is at the top of their game. And it's a thrill ride. It has humor in it. It has drama. It has everything you could want in a movie that spans 2.5 hours. There's something for everybody in this movie, and that's why I really liked it. And I think I saw this movie right after Sentimental Value. So these were my 2
Wow.
movies I saw to start off TIFF, which was awesome. And I really love this movie.
Yeah. It's really great. It's quick. It's fast paced. Yeah. I agree with everything that you said. I don't know what else to add.
And you haven't seen Secret Agent yet, right?
I have not, but I will say that City of God is my favorite foreign language film ever. So I haven't really explored Brazilian cinema, but I mean, I'm more open to this one.
This was the first Brazilian movie I've ever seen, because I haven't seen City of God. I have to see it. But when I sat, the best part for this movie for me, but like before the movie was, and after, I had so many conversations with people about Brazilian cinema after I saw this movie, which was like the coolest experience ever. And I was just like writing things down, being like, man, I want to check this one out. So that's always cool too, to kind of expose yourself to a whole different kind of country and how they interpret things. So
Very
that was a cool thing for me too. The
What else?
last
What else do you
one
have?
on my list is Roofman. Is there any other ones on your list?
I have Sorry Baby.
And then what about you?
I have 3 more.
Okay, so let's jump back to
Let's
you.
let
Let's
Sean
wrap-
go off.
let's hit us with yours.
Yeah.
Give us the last 3 you have.
Okay, well, I have 28 Years Later.
Okay.
I want to talk about. I have Superman.
Okay.
Has made my list, and I have Bring Her Back.
Okay. I haven't seen Bring Her Back.
I've seen it.
You did.
You saw it, Liz?
I think it was on my honorables.
Honorable mentions.
Yeah, it was on my honorables.
Okay, so Bring Her Back, I think this was such a great year for horror, but I think that this is a really good horror movie.
Yeah, it is.
Had Weapons not come out, had Sinners not come out, I think I'm even forgetting one. This movie would be one that I would be more eager to talk about. I just think, unfortunately, it was outshone by the masterpieces that were coming out in and around it. But this is a really fucking freaky movie. It bothered me in a way that like horror movies usually don't. I think I'm usually pretty like Stonewall about a lot of horror, but this is gross and disturbed in just the right way for me. Like, it really got me. There's some sequences in this movie that I think I actually like blocked out of my head because they're so graphic. So did you enjoy the movie, I guess?
Yes, I honestly really agree with you. I think that it just got slightly outshone from like the visual aspects, because I think like Weapons and Sinners is doing just something a little bit more heightened than Bring Her Back is. I think Bring Her Back is a really smart, tight script for a horror movie. I also think that it maybe pushes the envelope a little bit too much into horror for like the casual viewers to be able to like swallow, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. It throws some shit at you.
Yes.
It's why I probably won't ever see it.
Yes, versus like Weapons and Sinners is like a mild. It's like like I wouldn't consider them horror.
Yeah,
films.
see,
You know what I mean?
I had a very similar experience with it, where when I was looking at my list trying to formulate the top 10, I was saying like Weapons and Sinners are both technically horror movies, but who's scared in either one of them?
Yeah.
You know,
That's
maybe
what I
Weapons
mean.
a little
Who's
bit.
disgusted. Like for me, horror, like I need to be like, oh my god, I need to cover my eyes almost.
Mhm.
Like I'd consider them almost more just like suspenseful. Versus Bring Her Back, I literally was like, Jesus Christ, I don't want to look at the screen right
No.
now. So I think that's also why is it just misses like that huge target audience of people that still to this day don't appreciate horror and just don't know how to be subjective toward it.
Mhm.
But I think it was a killer script, and I'd watch it again.
I'm also eager to see it again.
Yeah.
I also think one of my favorite tropes in horror movies is scary tapes. I really, really like movies that have like a scary VHS tape, and this one has a great one. It's a great VHS tape. It's not The Ring. The 2003 The Ring is the greatest fucking VHS tape ever, but this is really good, and yeah, it's a great movie overall.
Let's give a minute to our section of the pod, which is the comic book genre. Which Superman was on my honorable mentions. Liz is out. It was on my honorable mentions. It made your list at number 9.
Yeah.
I believe. So talk to us a little bit about why I made your list.
So when I was a kid, I loved Superman. As an adult, I've matured, and now obviously Batman's the fucking best. But Superman when I was a kid, yeah, I mean I'm a man now, so I like Batman, and Spider-Man. But Superman, when I was a kid, was just like the coolest idea to me. Of like he flies around, he's super strong, he can do anything, and he chooses to help people. And I think that's such a great message and just like core of a character. I just really like as I get older and the world gets scarier and everything gets more cynical, I think that we need a Superman. And this is a great Superman movie. I think it really understands the character. And it's the first time in a long time that I've been to a superhero movie where I went, this knows what the point of the movie is. More so than just we're going to set up the franchise, we're going to start the DCU, we're going to fucking make $1 billion. Like it doesn't have that same like Phase 5 Marvel thing going on. It feels like this is a character that's important. We're going to make a movie about the character, but it's going to be silly. It's going to be really fun. We want to leave you smiling. It's not going to be dark and gritty. There's been a lot of dark and gritty Superman, which never works for me. And now we've got like great gritty Superman like Homelander, and even like Brightburn is pretty all right. Omni-Man, all the evil Supermans are taking their place. So I think that James Gunn coming into this movie and just having a real understanding of what this guy means, just put it on the list for me. I think it's really good.
Yeah, it is a really good movie. It's my favorite comic book movie of the year.
I agree.
Even though it didn't make the list, but it was in my honorable mentions. And Liz, if you want to rewind all the way back to May of 2023, when we had the finalists for Lois and Clark, I picked David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan. They did get cast in the roles,
Wow.
and they're unbelievable with their chemistry in this
Yeah,
movie.
I
And I
agree.
think that is what elevates this movie above the other films, because despite it being a weak last 4 or 5 years for comic books, I do think this year had some stronger ones like Thunderbolts you brought up, and Fantastic Four I think is a good movie. But Superman elevates so much. James Gunn obviously knows comic books better than majority of people in the world, I feel like, and being able to kind of translate those to screen, he does a really great job with this movie that didn't make my list, but it still was in consideration.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it really understands the core of what it is. It knows how to make a good superhero movie, and I just really respect the restraint of a guy who's starting another comic book universe. This is movie 1, phase 1 of the DCU. And it doesn't feel like a franchise movie. It feels like he really had a point, and that's just unfortunately a little rare in the modern
it's
superhero
DC's
space.
Iron Man. It really is.
Yes.
Yes, it totally felt like that.
Yeah.
Last one on your list was
Sorry Baby.
Sorry Baby, which you haven't seen Sorry Baby yet, right?
Nope.
Terrific script.
Yep.
One of the best of the year. A newcomer, Eva Victor. They write and direct and star in this film, correct?
Yes.
And it's just a great movie. It was one that it was probably in my one of my biggest surprises of the year.
Yeah.
Because I heard a lot of good things about it, and then it went on HBO Max, and I think I was texting you when I was watching it. I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm gonna watch a movie. I was like, they just added this. I've been wanting to see it. Like, I'm gonna throw it on, and it really surprised me.
Yeah.
It's a shocking movie.
Yeah.
For sure. Eva Victor's great in the film. John Carroll Lynch in a little part of the sub salesman, or the guy who runs the deli or whatever. He's great in the movie.
Sub salesman.
I can't believe that just came out of my mouth.
Instead of a sandwich.
He's the guy that sells subs. He's a sub salesman.
Sub salesman.
We've been recording for too long.
So good.
Movie's great though. Want to give you the opportunity to talk about it. It was your number 10?
It was my number 10,
Yeah.
so it just barely got in there. But yeah, I was really moved by this film. I think just the conversation of this woman finding herself in a place in life after like something traumatic happened to her, and then her seeing everybody else in her life, friend wise, like moving on and going on with life, and her trying to be like, well, why can't I do that? Like, why can't I keep going on in life, and how do I do this? How do I keep going on even though this thing happened to me and I don't want to deal with it anymore? And it's just a really great conversation around like trauma, and if you don't necessarily want to deal with your trauma but you kind of have to in order to move on. It's very funny too.
Yeah, very
like
funny.
A lot of dry humor in a way. Yeah, I find it really moving. I'm really excited to see what they do next, and I think there's something that everybody can relate to in this.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. Like I said, it was my number 13 of the year, so it just missed my list. I'll go my number 10, and then we'll jump to your last one.
Sure.
Roofman. Saw this movie now twice. Another one I
Roofman.
saw at TIFF. I saw it as far as humanly possible that you could see a movie. I was all the way up top in an old Royal Theater.
Nice.
I saw it with open captions, and I still really enjoyed it. So like, I have to see this again in like a proper setting where I could see it up close.
Mhm.
Best role of Channing Tatum's career by
Wow.
far. He was made to play this character. I love Derek C. in France. I love what he's been able to do with some movies that really hit you in a different way emotionally, like Blue Valentine. This movie is not that, and it's very shocking because there's a lot of humor in this movie. There's a lot of heart and charm to this movie, but there's also tragedy, and it's this unbelievable true story. If you don't know the story, and I'm sad, I felt like this movie was going to be like a sleeper hit this year, and like nobody went and saw it, but it's based on a true story about this guy named Jeffrey Manchester, who he is a military veteran that's now out of the service, and he begins robbing McDonald's. He gets thrown in jail, and then he hides out in a Toys R Us for over a year, and it's based on a true story. And it's such a great movie also for like everybody to see. Like anyone can see this movie. I watched it for the second time with my family, and everybody loved it. So yeah, best movie of Channing's career, I think. Just such a tough year with best actor. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't have a shot, but like he's great in the movie. I love that Seeing France gets to do something a little bit different here. Kirsten Dunst is fantastic in the movie. Other great performances by the ensemble, like Peter Dinklage and Lakeith Stanfield. So great cast, great movie. Was happy to finally see it again, and it just cracked my list at number 10.
I wish they hadn't given it, like, the trailer gives a lot away, I feel like.
It does. People shouldn't watch the trailer.
Which is why I was just kind of like turned off from it.
Did you see the movie?
No, because I was like, I feel like I just saw the movie.
Yeah, that stinks. Don't watch the trailer, Sean, if you haven't seen it yet.
I unfortunately have seen the trailer, and it does give a lot away.
If
But I also think I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the director's name.
Seeing France?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Place Beyond the Pines,
Also
one of-
great.
one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, also
ever.
great. And very
So-
different vibe than what this movie
Yeah,
is.
so it interested me that he was like doing what looked like a very like fun, upbeat kind of comedy movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Something about this movie's marketing, I think, just like turned people away.
Yeah,
Me too.
which is fair. But your last one is one that all three of us have seen. You saw it recently, 28 years later.
What is it? Oh, yeah.
28
Yeah.
years later, Sean. Floor is
28.
yours.
Yeah. So when I saw this movie only once, and when I saw it in the theater, and then I left the theater, I went, all right, pretty good. Since that opinion, every day I like this movie a little bit more. I don't know why. I don't know why it just like sticks in my head, but the way that I remember this movie is constantly becoming more and more like fairy tale-esque. I sound like a crazy person right now. But I don't. Yeah. So I'm a huge fan of 28 Days Later. I think that's one of the scariest movies ever made, and I saw it way too young, and it permanently fucking scarred me, and it just really disturbed me. And I think even still, like I rewatched it before this movie released, and it's still a terrifying movie. It still like keeps me up a little bit. So 28 Years I think is not as scary, but it has some really great stuff in it. It has some really scary moments. There's a lot of things that Danny Boyle as a director does here that I'm just sort of in love with. The weird like iPhone shots in this movie at first are like sort of gimmicky, but again, they add to this like weird, hazy, dreamlike quality that this movie has, and the way that it just sort of like spins around, and those nighttime sequences where it's like everything's just red. The intercutting of war footage. This is a movie that's very strange. And the strangest part about it is the end of the movie, which I know destroys the opinions of most people. And the reason that it upsets me that people are so put off by the ending of this movie is because that this was a movie that was shot with its sequel. It's one big movie that they've released separately. And I think that this ending is going to function as a really cool transition into what Bone Temple is going to do in like 2 weeks from now.
Which we're all covering together, so that'll be a fun conversation.
Oh, sweet. Okay, yeah, because I'm really excited for that. And I've heard it's amazing. All the like critical reception so far is that it's great. Which I feel confident in saying that I think I'm also going to really enjoy this movie because I like the first one so much. It's a horror movie that, again, is about something greater. It's not to the same level and standard and quality as Sinners, but it's talking about a lot. It's very British. It's like very ingrained in that culture, and it's talking about death and just these really big ideas in a zombie movie. Alex Garland is, again, innovating in like the zombie genre just in terms of like what's happening with the infected, that these are now things that are maybe like a little more human than we thought. And he invented the idea of zombies being a virus in 28 Days Later. He also invented the idea of zombies being an infection or a disease that's never been done prior to that movie. So I like that he's still innovating on what like zombies are in media, and I think that he's continuing to do that in these movies. So they're exciting to me. I like them a lot. I know I'm like talking really heavy. It is my number 8, so it's not like the greatest film of the year or anything, but I like it more the more that I think about it. So,
well, I'll say too, the Bone Temple, they gave it test screenings like a month in advance, which is shocking. And also the fact, or I guess not the test screenings, the embargo lifted for critics, which is shocking. And that happened in 2025, and this movie's coming out in 2026. Nia DaCosta directs the Bone Temple, but I've heard nothing but great things about that movie as well, which makes me more excited to see that, because I liked this movie. I didn't love it, but I liked it. But I am intrigued. Like you, I enjoyed the final sequence because I had a lot of thoughts on where they were going to go with it, and we had a lot of conversations off air about the spectrum of British culture and what that could mean.
I could defend the finale of this movie for 25 minutes if you let me, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I think I'm going to pass it off to the typical audience reaction, which I think is the reaction that Liz had to this.
I was so sad for this movie until the jumpsuit crew came out at the end, and
Jumpsuit
I
crew!
literally was like,
Jimmy
I'm
Jumpsuits!
being punked. I was like, what is this alternate ending that I'm seeing right now? And so I feel like you're going to have to send me a voice note for this 25-minute explanation because I was of the mentality of like, I just don't know what I watched at the ending. If it connects to the next film, great, brilliant. I love that. I didn't know that. And so I truly was like, I think I picked like a
different cut,
like a director's cut or something. Tyler was he was like, what is this? He's like, did you click a different movie? He's like, is this a spoof? And I was like, I don't know.
That's awesome.
I don't know. We're gonna have
it's human evil entering the movie. There's no human evil in the entire movie, and then the movie begins with this character Jimmy O'Connell, right? Is that his name? What's his name?
Well, Jack O'Connell.
Jack O'Connell. Sorry, yeah, Jack O'Connell. It starts with him. It ends with him, and no one in the entire movie is a bad person. Not even the zombies. Like the point of the entire movie is about like no one is evil. Like it's just nature or whatever.
Which
and then this guy comes in and it feels like it's from a different world because he is. It's like this is true evil has entered the film. I think it's so good. I really think it's so good.
A very different. It's a complete right turn.
I felt like I was watching Twilight all of a sudden. I was like, they're extremely pale. I'm like, they have these like jumpsuit like swagger vibes going on, and I was like, I don't know what's happening.
Well, I love that in the first trailer for Bone Temple, Alfie Williams, who another great child performance.
Yeah,
playing
so
Spike.
many great kids this year.
He says in the trailer, he goes, "What's your name?" He goes, "Spike," and he goes, "No, it's not. It's Jimmy." And he throws him a wig.
Yeah,
and that's all you need to know to set us up for the Bone Temple.
Well,
I like it a lot.
I hope Jumpsuit Crew comes back.
I'm excited for us to cover that together on the channel. It's going to be a fun review.
So excited for it.
That's going to be great.
You know what I said? It's like I don't remember. Weapons was my most anticipated.
Yeah.
I think this is my most anticipated.
Wow.
Of the year.
And it's only, dude, you only got to wait like 9 days.
I know. It's like right around the corner.
Awesome. That's exciting. Well, guys, it's been a long recording. We hope you stuck around for the whole conversation, but I had a great time with you guys talking about our favorite films of 2025 as we now venture into 2026. As we ended the podcast talking about a movie that's coming out in a couple of weeks that we're going to cover. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode. Let us know in the comments what are your favorite movies of 2025, what's your top 10 list, your honorable mentions, all that stuff. Hit us with it. And if you guys have a chance, please check out our most anticipated movies episode we have out as well, which covers all our top 10 most anticipated movies for this upcoming year that me, Liz, and Mark covered. You guys can follow us on social media if you guys don't already. All that stuff is below me in the video, and it's also in our YouTube description. So thank you guys for watching. Just signing off. I'm Darian Scalamoni.
I'm Liz Seiko.
And I'm Sean Villa.
And we'll see you guys next time.
This is The Culture.